What's going on, everybody? CW Entertainment here, back today with another Chicago Bears podcast, and it is day 2 of the NFL draft. And as you guys are saying, this is gonna already be day 3. But anyway, the Chicago Bears have made 2 picks on day 2 when they only had 1. And yes, Ryan Pace has done it again. He did end up trading up one more time. Hey, that's Ryan Pace's philosophy, man. He's gonna go out there and try to get his guy. He's not gonna sit back on his hands, and more than likely, the guy he wanted up selecting probably wouldn't have been there in the 4th round. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. To their first pick that they had here in the 2nd round, they wanted up taking James Daniel with the 7th pick here, 39th overall. He's a center out of Iowa. The man is only 20 years old. He will be 21 during the season, but this is a young guy right there that you can plug into that offensive line. He's going to be, I think Ryan Pace said in his press conference, they're going to start him out at left guard. So that'll be interesting to see what they go with that, assuming that they're going to keep Cody Whitehair at center. And then you wind up having Kyle Long over there at right guard. So this is definitely a pretty good pickup. You're bolstering that offensive line once again. We wound up losing Josh Sitton. This is a good replacement that you're going to wind up needing. And there are some people who think James Daniels could be the best center in this draft. Now, there are people who think, there's some other guys as well. But James Daniels had like 1st round grades on him, and he wound up falling. A lot of the guards that they guard, like the interior linemen, were falling. I mean, some people really were kind of surprised at how many kind of fell out the 1st round. But hey, that's the draft. That's how, that's just how it goes sometimes. You never know what's going to happen in the NFL draft. I mean, pretty much, like the mock drafts, like I think they were saying Mel Kiper and Todd McShay had like 3 right, and Mike Mayock had 2 right. So like I said, you just never know what's going to end up happening in this draft. But I do like this pick. It's definitely something that was needed, and it helps you strengthen a position that that was actually pretty weak. You needed somebody to play that interior lineman, since we no longer have Josh Sitton to play there anymore. And to me, this is a pickup that was definitely needed. And he performed well. He's a Big Ten offensive lineman. Big Ten offensive linemen know how to play some dang football. I don't care if, Iowa might not be the best program in the Big Ten, but these schools know what they're doing when it comes to freaking offensive linemen. That's all you can say. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into just who James Daniel is. He's 6'3". He actually wound up putting on weight. They said he was around 280 when he was playing. Wound up putting on an extra 20 pounds. He's now with 306. Has some long arms, pretty much 34-inch arms. So dude's definitely got he can definitely get up inside, defensive tackle or defensive end, wherever they're going to have him play. And, he's going to be able to get that quick contact on him. Wound up grading out at a 6.03, which says right here, should become an instant starter. More than likely, you're drafted in the 2nd round, you're likely going to be a starter on somebody's team. And from what the Bears are talking about, he should be a starter for us. Now, you guys can check down here his combine results. Ended up doing a bench press of 21 reps, vertical broad jump, cone drill maybe a little important, in the shuttle maybe a little bit, but vertical broad jump, that's not really, too much that goes with an offensive lineman. It shows more explosiveness, I guess. It shows how much explosiveness he has from his legs. So that's something that is kind of, it could be important, but kind of concerning. Only 21 reps on the bench press, and it could be a reason why he may have fallen here in this draft. 21 reps, you would like to see your offensive lineman hit, a high 20s, maybe 30, somewhere around in that range. But, it's something, maybe it's something they can get hit here in the offseason, get his strength up a little bit more, start grinding, because you're playing against a bunch of guys. If he's going to be the center, he's going to have to deal with a lot of 340-pound nose tackles. You're going to have to deal with some big old 330-pound defensive tackles. We're going to be playing the Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald this year. You're going to have to be able to move guys like them, because they are not going to be an easy matchup if you're not able to just drive these guys up out of there. But let's go ahead and get down to the analysis that Lance Zierlein wanted up doing on him. His draft projection was between the 1st round and 2nd round. He goes in the 2nd. Like I said, there were teams that apparently had him as a 1st round grade. Well, I'll say analysts had him as a 1st round grade. We don't know what other teams may have had him at. But he does end up falling to the 2nd round. His comp is Chris Chester. I'm not going to lie, I really don't know who Chris Chester is. So I apologize if I don't, know exactly who he is, who he plays for. But I mean, if he's projected first, second round, I mean, I'm guessing Chris Chester is another guy that's a pretty good offensive lineman. Let's go ahead and take a look at his overview. Daniels is a fluid mover with tremendous initial quickness to win positioning on almost every zone block he's asked to make, both on the first and second level. So to me, that tells me he's able to get, he's a good zone blocker. So he knows, like, if he's got to, hook a guard or hook a tackle, he knows how to get there, and he knows how to get off his first guy and then able to get to the second level and pick up a linebacker very quickly. His height, weight, and arm length numbers at the combine will be critical in either solidifying his draft slot or potentially dropping him around, which he did wind up dropping. He wound up falling to the second round. So I guess this is what they were talking about. I mean, he's 6'3". That's pretty decent for a guard, and he almost has 34-inch arms. To me, I mean, that sounds pretty well. I mean, they compare like 34-inch arms around to like a tackle, so it sounds like he's pretty well, size-wise. They also winds up saying some teams might see him as a zone-only center, but he may have strong enough to fit in with other blocking schemes. So, they are questioning his strength. He needs to get stronger, but he's a plus run blocker and pass protector with the chance to become Pro Bowl starter. That's what you like to hear if he can become a guy that, that can hit the weights. If he can hit the weights this offseason, I expect Harry Heaston that he's going to know what he's going to need to do to make sure this guy is going to turn out to be the best center, guard, or whatever possible, because Harry Heaston is definitely one of the top offensive line coaches that are out there, not just in the league, but they were talking about this guy in all of college football, but just football in general. That Harry Heaston is just one of those guys that he's going to make sure he gets the best out of him. He did have Quentin Nelson. We didn't get to get him. We got Roquan Smith instead. Nelson wasn't there available for us to even pick him anyway, so I'm trusting what Harry Heaston can do. I mean, he's had two guys go that went in the top 10. He had Quentin Nelson, he had Mike McGlinchey. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the strengths that they had for James Daniels. And the first thing up here, elite movement, talent for the position. So he knows how to move his body well. He has pretty solid quickness to him, and that actually is one of the that's his third trait that they have on there. Good snap to step quickness. So he snaps the ball quickly, gets into that first step, makes in that first punch. That's what you like to see. Smooth, fluid, and flexible. Initial contact is balanced and well timed. Outpaces defenders laterally and reaches 3 techniques all day long, which is a good sign. That means he's not slow getting up. And when he's playing center, you definitely, because you're focused on making the snap, and then you're focused on getting to your guy. And that's a huge thing, if he can definitely translate that over to the NFL, because, everything's ramped up even faster here in the NFL. So, you like to see stuff like that, or you like to hear about it at least. Slides feet into position and swivels hips to secure the block. Easy second level climber with agility for higher connection rate. Takes smart angles, can beat inside linebackers to the spot and get them sealed. So like I said earlier, he's a guy that does a good job if he's got to, give a quick little punch to help maybe a tackle or a center. He's able to get over to the linebacker real quickly without the linebacker being able to beat him to the spot. He's meeting the linebacker to the spot before the linebacker's getting to the ball carrier or wherever he's trying to go. That's a plus. That sounds great in my book. Has reactive athleticism to open hips and redirect against slants on the backside. So I'm guessing, that sounds more like that's dealing with pass blocking. So I guess if, he doesn't have anybody or there's nobody coming through the middle, he's able to read, I guess, enough to, see, or he's able to see that in his peripheral that he can see a guy that's coming on the outside edge, and he, I guess, does a good job picking that up. That's what it sounds like to me. Snatches and mirrors for block centering and sustaining on workup blocks. I'm not really 100% sure what that means, but hey, I'll take their word for it. Finishes. I like the sound of that. That's all it says is finishes. Finishes his blocks. That means he's mauling guys. That means he's putting them in the ground. He's getting pancakes. Technically sound and works well with his guard. So, like they were mentioning, he does a good job if he's double teaming or if he just needs to get a punch, to help his guard. Well, this is as he's playing center. So if he needs to get that little punch to help his guard out, just to kind of get a guy in position, that's going to wind up helping him, and then he gets to that second level, which they mentioned he does well. Pass sets with wide base and plus balance, rarely caught lunging or overextending against athletic rushers, has foot quickness to stay mirrored to handle counters, rolls hips under him for quality anchor. He's a good pass blocker. It's pretty much exactly what this pretty much says here near the end. That's what you need. We got to be able to protect Trubisky. Right now he's definitely the guy that you gotta protect him. I mean, that is definitely a key thing right now. And Ryan Pace knows it. And Matt Nagy knows it. They all know that protecting Trubisky right now is the biggest thing. And to me, that's why they went out here and got this guy. All right, let's go ahead and go over the weaknesses. Play lighter than he needs to be as a pro. He played around 280-ish, 285. He's now bumped up to 300 pounds. So that weakness, you can kind of go ahead and cross that out. I don't know if the Bears may want him to put on a little more weight. You just hope that doesn't affect his speed at all and that agility that they were mentioning as his strengths to get up to that second level. Has to continue to add functional mass to his frame. It's the same thing. It's pretty much the exact same thing. He just needs to add on weight, which he has done. Power at the point of attack is average. So, yeah, like we mentioned, his bench press isn't that great. They mentioned, how he was pretty much, how he finishes his play. So, power at the point of attack. That's kind of how you get, you're able to finish, kind of plays out. So that's a little interesting right there. Bull rushes make him work overtime and to maintain his anchor. So pretty much, if somebody's giving him a good bull rush, he kind of struggles trying to keep his ground. And I kind of think we see that a lot with Grisou. And because Grisou gets mauled all the time, and I'm guessing that's why this pick was made. It's got a deal. I'm sure that has to do something with Grisou probably getting up out of here. Will struggle to recover if nose guards gets hands on him first. That I do not like because there are some quick nose guards, and if he is playing center, you got to snap that ball and you got to boom. You got to be quick. And if he's getting driven in the backfield because he's not getting the snap quick enough and his hands up, that's definitely a key problem, and that's going to have to be something Harry Houston wants to fix it. Target points can be too high in pass sets, causing hands to slide up and off opponent. They mentioned, he doesn't slide, but they mentioned how he in the strengths that he doesn't, over lunge your guys, but this right here pretty much says, he slides off guys. So that's another big thing that's going to wind up having a defensive tackle wind up swimming over you or ripping through you and getting to your quarterback. He's a center/guard. Therefore, that's quick pressure to the quarterback. The quickest way to get to a quarterback is a straight line. That is not, something you want to hear. Like I said, he's saying this is something I'm expecting him to pretty much wind up going over and helping him fix that. Gets in a hurry to climb on top of second level linebacker and will leave initial block unsecured for guard next to him. That I do not like him because the Bears are likely going to run a lot of inside zone plays. And pretty much you definitely need to make sure you got your guy secure before, you got to make sure you have your guy secured before you wind up releasing to the next level. I get it. You want to get to that next level. It opens up that hole. You get the linebacker out the play. Then you got to have a safety or cornerback try to make a play on somebody like Jordan Howard or Tariq Cohen. You got to make sure look, if you don't make sure you get that block initially, they're not going anywhere in that second, third level because they're 2-3 yards in the backfield getting popped. Scheme didn't allow for much drive blocking, so Iowa ran a zone scheme blocking style, so there wasn't a lot of power plays. I'm guessing pulling plays. That's kind of what it sounds like. Just pretty much a lot of zone blocking is just how it kind of comes off to me. But pretty much this is what it says. The sources tell us this is from, once again, this is Lance Zierlein's piece. It says the Iowa guys are always going to be quick and proficient, but you have to see them tested against power because they are usually going to be a little smaller too. This guy has decent size, and I think he's a pretty good functional power. He would come in and challenge for best center in our division right away. It says, this came from an NFC team college scouting director. My bad, I did give this credit to Lance Zierlein. This comes from a scouting director, so it sounds like, there are highs on him. There's also some lows in here mixed in as well. And that's going to be expected with almost every single prospect. But it does sound teams were pretty high on this guy, or he wouldn't have been, listed as a first, second rounder. You definitely going to have guys that are able to work with them. And, if you're not able to work with them, kind of reflects poorly on your coaching staff, pretty much, if you ask me. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into our next draft pick. The Chicago Bears, once again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, if you guys forgot, we wound up trading up again. Ryan Pace in the second round. We didn't have a third round pick at all. Winds up trading back into the second round to select Anthony Miller at pick number 19 of the second round, 51 overall. Winds up trading with New England, gives up a 4th rounder, a 105th overall pick, and a 2019 second round pick. We don't know what that's going to be at yet because the season ain't started yet, but this is definitely a ballsy move by Pace once again, and we're going to hopefully wind up panning out. Anthony Miller is definitely a pretty solid wide receiver that, a lot of people rated pretty highly, but I think a lot of people didn't have him projected until that mid-round, so maybe 3rd, 4th round in that area. Brian Pace said, we don't have a 3rd round pick. He may have fallen to the 3rd round. You never know. This guy actually seems like a guy that ends up somewhere like in Pittsburgh. That's it. And I would think, he kind of fits that Pittsburgh mold. That 5'11" body, just a guy that, has good hands, good speed. He really resembles a Pittsburgh type wide receiver. And hopefully this is somebody Matt Nagy can work properly with and, get things on the roll. Let's go ahead and look at his draft profile. Again, he's out of the University of Memphis. And his hometown is Memphis, Tennessee as well. 5'11", 201 pounds. His hand size is 10 and 5/8. So he's got pretty solid hands. And if you watch his highlight tape, you definitely can tell dude has big hands because he makes a lot of plays. He makes some one-handed catches. He's jumping up over guys to make plays. The dude is definitely a baller. And honestly, I'm a big fan of the pick. Now, what's interesting, he did not do anything at the combine but the bench press from what I'm aware of, and he only bench pressed 22 reps. So, it wasn't the craziest thing in the world, but hey, he did wind up benching actually more than what the center that we had. So that's kind of an interesting thing, to go ahead and note that he wound up out benching our center that we wanted to draft in as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. He wound up grading at a 5.79. So it says right here, chance to become an NFL starter. So, who knows what he'll be. Honestly, I think he probably fits more of the slot. He could be an outside receiver. Honestly, I didn't watch the Memphis game tape. So I'm just watching the highlights that the Bears are putting out and other highlights that are on YouTube. So that's kind of how I'm getting my feeling with Anthony Miller. But besides the stats, or not the stats, but his combine stuff that he did, I'm guessing bench press may have been the only thing. He may have run routes and stuff. But at his pro day, he kind of took off a little bit. Miller, he wound up having a 39-inch vertical jump, which is very impressive for somebody that's 5'11". You want to see that explosiveness, that he can wind up high-pointing the ball, even though he's only 5'11". His 40-yard dash was between a 4.46 and a 4.52. So he does have that. He has around 4.4 speed-ish. You wind up kind of putting that in half. You pretty much put him at a 4.48, 4.49-ish. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how they wind up using him because I'm sure Brian Pace was pretty happy about how he fell and all that. So you'll hear that from him. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe he fell this far to the second round. We just had to go up and jump him and take the pick. Like I said, I like the pick. He's 23 years old. He will be 24 in October, so he will be an older guy that's on the team. But I just would like to know how they'll end up using him because you got Taylor Gabriel. He's not going to be the X like Allen Robinson will be, and I wouldn't expect him to be the Z. Now, there's a possibility he could be. He could be splitting time with Taylor Gabriel in the slot, or maybe Gabriel plays outside. I think this put Kevin White a little bit more on notice. Kevin White's going to have to go out there and perform. But it's just, I guess, supposed to be the replacement for Cameron Meredith, and it sounds like Ryan Pace did have a plan. Anyway, let's go ahead and get more into his analysis that Lance Zierlein wanted to go with. Draft projection was round 3. Bears take him ahead and get him in round 2 because the Bears didn't have a 3rd round pick. Kendall Wright was his NFL comparison from Zierlein. Kendall Wright, we just wound up having him. Kendall Wright was a former 1st round pick by the Tennessee Titans. So there's a chance, maybe he's got that kind of, next level experience. So, well, not experience, but maybe he's got that, 1st round potential inside him. And from what he's been tweeting out, dude sounds like he's a dog. And one of the things he wound up saying was he's gonna bring that Memphis pride or that Memphis style to Chicago. So that's what I like to hear, man. I'm from Tennessee. I live here in Nashville. I'm not from the Memphis area, but I know what goes down there in Memphis. He's from Memphis, and hey, man, if he's bringing that style, let's go ahead and get it, man. Let's get it. Anyway, back to the analysis. Let's go ahead and take a look at his overview. Ultra competitive and highly productive, Miller plays with the chip on his shoulder that has driven him to outwork the man across from him. While he played both inside and out for Memphis, some teams can struggle with figuring out his best fit. And that's kind of what I was saying. I don't know if he's going to be the slot or is he going to be the outside guy. Is he going to be flanker or is he going to be a Z? I mean, it's kind of interesting. And 39-inch vertical means there's a chance he could end up playing outside. You just don't know. His inconsistent hands are definitely a concern, but his ability to get open and to work all three levels of the field increases chances for success as a wide receiver 3. Inconsistency with hands. We don't need more of those guys. No offense, Anthony Miller, but we need guys that's definitely going to be able to catch the ball on a consistent basis. And we kind of saw that with Josh Bellamy the last couple years. You know, Bellamy, he's still on the team. I know he's more of a special teams guy, but still. Hand struggles, man. I really don't like the sound of that, but, you know, the guy put up numbers at Memphis, so I'm expecting that, you know, they're going to end up working with him. Matt Nagy, I'm putting a lot of faith in Nagy to, you know, make sure that this is the correct pick. This is who we wanted, and that this guy's going to be a guy that can make plays. Now, let's go ahead and hop into his strengths and weaknesses. Starting off with his strengths: rapid fire, stutter step, and head fakes defeat outside and inside leverage. So pretty much he's a great, and this is what they always talk about. He's a great route runner, and that's the same thing that's coming up here at number 2. Effective setting up route stems, accelerates out of his cuts, creating throwing windows. This is exactly what you want to hear. You want to hear a great route runner, but you also want to hear that the guy can make catches, and that's kind of concerning that they say he struggled with drops, or he was inconsistent catching the football. But like I said, he still put up numbers. Let's go ahead and get into more of this a little bit. Scratches and claws over top of press and has early quickness to stack down. So basically, he's good at getting off the press. Former walk-on with elevated level of competitiveness. That means he's a walk-on guy, but pretty much it's pretty much self-explanatory, but it means he's got that underdog mentality in him. He's got that dog inside him that he's going to always work to end up being the best that he can be. And now that he's making it to the NFL, I just hope he winds up continuing that to show and prove everybody wrong. And he did wind up tweeting, or I don't know if he said it or he tweeted it out, that he was the best wide receiver in this draft, and he's going to make sure everybody knows it. That's what I like to hear from a guy. I mean, look, we know wide receivers are kind of divas anyway. They love running their mouth. And the Bears really haven't had, I guess, anybody like that since, I guess you could say, Brandon Marshall a little bit. But it's nice to hear that, you know, it's a change of pace kind of thing. You know, because normally most Bears players, when they speak, they're kind of quiet. And, you know, hopefully this guy ends up kind of being a guy that can pop off and winds up being a great, you know, just receiver for Trubisky, because we definitely need it. Field fast throughout the route. Top-notch ball tracker whose focus sharpens down the field. Pretty much that says he can take the top off the defense, and he's a great job being able to look over his shoulder and make that catch. I like to hear that. Body adjustments to haul and challenging catches is excellent. There was some highlights showing him going up, making one-handed catches to the side. I mean, the dude is definitely a guy that can catch in traffic. And like I said, look, it sounds like he's a guy that can also, he's not afraid to go over the middle either. You know, he's making challenging catches. He's sideline over the middle. You know, you like to hear that. Works with scrambling quarterbacks. Trubisky's a guy that can get out on the run. That sounds well, because this means this guy's going to be he's going to see the quarterback. He's like, oh, he's in trouble. I know where to go to wind up finding an open lane and make sure that, hey, I'm going to be open. We're going to get this first down and possibly even more. Stick with his feet near the sideline. Make sideline catches is pretty much all that says to me. Creates yardage after the catch, catches the ball, winds up making moves, and winds up getting more than just a catch and going straight to the ground. Like I said, this is stuff, you know, this stuff you want to hear. Like I said, right now, the only big concern to me is that they said he was inconsistent with his catching. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into his weaknesses. Short stepper. Not really sure what that kind of, I guess, describes, but okay. Pop straight up before breaking right off and could be challenged by zone corners looking to disrupt his momentum with redirects. And that could be, you know, something challenging because you got guys up there like in Minnesota, like Xavier Rhodes and Trey Waynes, and they did wind up adding another guy in this draft. I forget his name. I believe it was Mike Hughes they ended up adding in the first round. So that could be a little interesting right there. Let's see how that ends up going. Routes carry wasted motion with excessive arm and upper body action. So I'm guessing Maybe he's swinging his arms a little bit more, or maybe he's trying to get push offs and stuff like that. I'm guessing that's kind of where that's leading to. Might be quicker than fast, so pretty much he's quick at moving his body, but he's not finna outrun just every single body on the field, which is decent. I mean, quick movements are definitely necessary as well to wind up making sure you get open. Outstanding focus on deep throw turns into shoddy concentration on short ones. So I'm guessing this where the inconsistency with his hands comes. So I'm guessing he's better at catching the deep passes than he is winding up catching, say, drag routes or just quick slants over the middle, maybe a 5-yard in, a little zig route, stuff like that. Maybe that's the stuff that they were saying he was inconsistent with. But if they're going to use him as a deep threat, then that sounds pretty well. But you do have to wind up catching balls on shorter throws, which is getting into this next one. We'll drop and double catch simple short throws. We got to be able to make sure we catch the ball. You don't want to be double catching a lot, because if you're double catching, there's a chance you end up trying to catch it one time, a defender comes in, winds up rocking you, that ball pops straight up in the air, and it's going to end up being a pick. Ball security is a concern after the catch with 5 career fumbles. I don't know if that's technically a lot of fumbles or not. I mean, that could be a little reach. I honestly do not know. 5 career fumbles, yeah, you don't want to hear that, but I mean, it depends, what teams he's going up against, how well of the ball he had control, what specifically caused the fumble. Was it like one of those peanut punches, or did he get like blindsided out of nowhere and wound up coughing up the football? It just depends, how that is. Like I said, I haven't watched that much tape on this guy except for the highlights that have been going around. But anyway, let's go ahead and kind of get into what his stats were for the season. Dude had back-to-back 1,400 rushing yards, and in those 2 seasons, he had a 95-yard receiving year. That was his junior year, and a 96-yard receiving year. This kid can definitely play. Had 37 touchdowns in his career. He played in 38 games. This dude can definitely play football, and it's nice to see. And actually, he had 40 career touchdowns because he had 3 rushing touchdowns as well. Honestly, if you ask me, it sounds kind of like he's going to be like the Tyreek Hill of this offense. And I know it sounds weird because Tariq Cohen has been kind of labeled, hey, he's going to be the Tyreek Hill. And then they kind of talked about Taylor Gabriel being a Tyreek Hill kind of guy. So with this offense, there's a lot of jet motion movement and a lot of just guys going in motion, guys going here, guys going there. It's just to pretty much complicate the defense and get those mismatches. And to be honest, that's kind of what you do need in a guy like this. And it's nice to know that, this guy can definitely play ball. Another thing is he wound up receiving, he averaged over 15 yards per catch in pretty much every single season. His first year there as a sophomore, 14.8. That's 15 yards per catch, and that's outstanding. That's a first down every time he catches the ball pretty much. Dude is definitely a baller. 238 career receptions, 3,590 yards, average 15.1 catch throughout his career, 37 touchdowns. He did run the ball 31 times too, so Memphis was definitely using him quite a bit, especially I guess in his sophomore and junior year. Looks like they used him more in that, but the dude's an all-around player, and that's what you kind of like to hear. The dude definitely knows how to play, and I like it. I definitely like this pickup. The Bears, I know you had to trade up. I don't like the fact we had to give up a 2nd-round pick. It's not the end of the world, maybe you got a chance. Like, if you do well enough, maybe that 2nd-round pick winds up being like a late pick. If you're able to be one of those teams that go from worst to first, or something like that. You see it in the NFL all the time. Saw it last year. Saw how the Eagles were. You see it all the time, but we'll see what ends up happening with that situation. But to me, I think it's a successful pick. I like it. Unfortunately, we did have to give up draft compensation for it, but this guy is definitely a ball player, and I think he's going to work pretty well in the Matt Nagy system, because the way it sounds like they use these guys, they're going to be all over the place. You saw how the Eagles were. Eagles got guys all over the place. You got Aguilar, you got Zach Ertz, you got Alshon Jeffrey, you had Torrey Smith. I'm not sure Torrey Smith is still there or not. He may not be. But anyway, you just saw how they use those guys, and that's pretty much exactly how we're going to be running it here in Chicago. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So you guys, please let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Did you guys like these picks? Did you guys want them to take a pass rusher? Honestly, I was kind of hoping there was a pass rusher coming here. I'm not mad at the Anthony Miller pick, because it's definitely a position need that they needed. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Once again, it's actually wound up going a little bit longer than what I thought it was going to. I thought this was definitely going to be a lesser video, but we had 2 picks. I wasn't expecting the Anthony Miller pick, but it did wind up happening, and I'm pretty happy about it. Hopefully everything gets going on the road. But you guys, I do want to say thank you all very much for listening to the video once again. It's another Chicago Bears podcast. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you guys hit the like button, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with the Chicago Bears podcast and everything else I'll be posting on my channel. I'm out till next time, everybody. Peace and bear down. We'll have day 3 tomorrow.